Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast. I am Dr. Ben, the jolly ambassador of flow.
Like that? Or like a rancher?
Yeah, kind of like a rancher. So, I'm not a rancher, so I can't call Jolly Ranchers
People
ranchers.
are going to think all we do is eat candy and do podcasts.
That's kind of what I'm trying. That's what we love doing, right?
Right.
But,
Well, they do hear a lot of Snickers from us. I had to get that out there.
come on now.
Was that a stretch?
That was a stretch, right?
I was going to say that or whatchamacallit. I didn't know what else I was going to say.
If you could get Carmelo in there, Caramello, I'd be really impressed.
Our next podcast guest is Billy Caramello. He's a super sweet guy.
All right, that's enough. Had enough. See you guys.
We went too far again.
So Matt,
Yes, Ben.
there's winners
And there's losers.
and there's losers. Losers.
He's making fun of me because I misspelled losers on the board. I think we all know that my grammar is not grammatical.
I wasn't gonna say anything, man. There's winners and there's losers. That's what we're talking about today
We
from
are.
an agent recruit standpoint, correct?
Yes, we're going to talk about picking winners. Okay, we're going to talk about we're going to dig into picking winners, and I know we're not going to get far without there being nose jokes with you, right? Are you going to? Can you just agree now that we're not going to have any picking nose jokes? Could you do that for me?
Yeah, there's not going to be any nose jokes. I promise.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not gonna stoop
All right.
that low. Come on.
All right.
I need those for my 10, my 8-year-old. So guys, before we dive into this, wherever you're listening to this, hit that follow, that subscribe button. We absolutely would love to see that because that lets us know that you enjoy the content that we're putting
That's
out. Also go to
And it's helping.
That's for sure. Also go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. If you're old school, you can still go to prospectboomerang.com and click on podcast at the top. And go there and sign up for our weekly recruiting newsletter. It's absolutely jam-packed full of past episodes of the podcast, some really cool free events that we have coming up for our listeners, a little bit about just what we do at Prospect Boomerang, but then also we throw in some content from the internet, some of our stuff from the blog, and then I always try and find something that's just a little bit humorous that you can share with some of the agents in your office, along with some of the recruits that you have, just little culture builders, things like that,
Yep.
to where you just let them know, listen, like, we're about business, but every now and then, it's okay to take a deep breath and have a little fun. So,
Yeah.
Matt.
No such thing as business life. It's just life.
And to suggest no work-life balance, right?
Right.
It's just life. So, Matt, we're talking about picking winners.
Right.
How do you know when you're meeting with someone if they're a winner or a loser?
Such a great trick question. So what we're gonna dig into is I'm gonna keep throwing these jokes out to see how much you can hold on.
I'm writing down all the candy bars that make it.
What made me think of this? We've talked about this. We read and listen a lot. We constantly are consuming content of all kinds of stuff, and something that I was reading was referencing a study that was done. Okay, and the study that was done, I think it was fourth grade kids.
Okay,
and they told the teachers that certain kids in the class had taken a special test, and the special test proved that they have a propensity to learn at an accelerated rate compared to everyone else. Okay.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, the test results came in, and when the test results came in, almost all of those kids, it was like 97 or 98% of those kids actually outperformed the rest of the kids in class. Right. Okay. These kids were all completely picked by random.
Yeah.
100% by random.
Yeah.
But just, how the teacher dealt with them and the expectations and all of that, just everyone mentally had it in their head that the person was these kids were going to do better, regardless of what their capability was. Okay.
Yeah.
That was all about expectations. That's what that boiled down to, right?
Yeah. I love that.
Did people have the right expectations for them, and did they push them hard enough, right?
Yeah.
So we talk to people a lot, and very seldomly do we talk to people that they're just like, I just want as many people in my office as I can get. Most of the people we talk to are they're like, hey, I really want the right ones, right? How do I find
this
those?
isn't numbers, this is relationships.
Absolutely, 100%. And so I think probably the first thing that I'd say about picking the looser is,
let's say you're interviewing 3 musketeers,
right?
and you must choose betwixt them.
That was a little bit of a stretch.
And one of them's name is Baby Ruth.
Right.
Baby Ruth.
And the other one's Sweetheart. So I think probably the first thing that you got to kind of have to be okay with is it's okay to be wrong, right?
Yes.
I've said this a bunch of times before, right?
Yeah.
I picked people that I thought were going to crush it, right? I was in there meeting with them. I went out of my way, trying to do everything I could do to get them on board. Those are the ones I was more prepped for the meeting with. My expectation was higher.
Yeah.
And so I go in there and I hire these people, and people I thought they were just going to crush it just fell flat as they could fall.
Yeah.
Right? Or there were an argument the whole time, or there was a fight the whole time, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Other people that I was like, man, there's just something telling this person just didn't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hire them, right? Because they knew, the first one that pops into my head is it was a friend of an agent in the office, and they're like, oh yeah, they're gonna be fantastic. And I met the person, I was like, oh my gosh, they're not gonna be fantastic. This is gonna be a disaster, right?
Yeah.
She was fantastic. She was absolutely, positively fantastic. And we'll talk about what some of the traits were that made her be able to be fantastic, okay? Now, the truth is, I probably didn't deal with it right from my own perspective. When I did the interview, I was like, oh, wait a minute, what are you talking about here, right?
Yeah,
And
expectations.
that's right. I had that expectation. I was going the wrong direction with it.
Yeah.
And thank goodness that I got over it and did what I needed to do, because she ended up being a very, very productive agent and was huge in the community as a whole. Very well connected in the real estate community. But so I think the first thing that I'd say is it's okay to pick some winners that you think are going to be winners, and they're going to be, and some losers that you think are going to be winners, and they're going to be, and some losers that you think are going to be losers, that they're going to be. Okay, right? It's okay to pick those. But some key characteristics. Here's what I would look for, and try to vet this out through the appointment process and through the interview process. These are some things that I would be looking for. Right?
Some key KPIs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So one is they got to be a good listener.
Yeah.
They just have to be somebody that is that listens intently. Okay. So you check that by asking some questions, right? So if you say something, and when you ask them a question about something, and you ask them to engage and give you the answer back, don't do it like a quiz. Hey, Ben, I told you the top 3 things that we do here at the office are what, right? That's not what I'm saying. You're not going to do it like that. But you're gonna open it back up to them to see how closely they were listening and see how much they engage in that. If they're not going to listen closely to you on a job interview, how closely are they going to listen to a seller or a buyer whenever they're interviewing with them for the job?
Yeah.
Right? They might act like they're going to, but they're not.
Yeah. They're gonna dress up.
Yep, that's exactly right. Dress up and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yep. So the second thing is they got to be learners. Okay? Now this can't be faked. Right. So everybody you talk to, they're like, oh, I really love to learn. And then you ask them about their history and what it is that they're reading now, and what it is that they're doing, and when's the last class that they went to, and what do they like the most about school, and all of these questions, and they're blank on all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta be on the lookout for that. So the reason why is and let me pause right here. This is not about new agents. I'm not just talking about new agents.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. I'm talking about new and experienced agents.
Yep.
You can have somebody that comes over that's got a lot of production and a lot of opportunity market share wise for your office, and there's somebody that doesn't learn, and what you don't realize is that they're pulling all of this other trash with them, because all of this luggage of what they learned that is just no good anymore, they're moving away from another office and moving and going to bring all of that garbage to your office. You got to be careful not to hire those people. So another thing that's really critical is, do they look for help on things that they don't know? Okay, so I think we all know as
like look for help, like from the broker, like search online, or just anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, anywhere. It's okay if they want to find it themselves.
Right.
But they have to admit that that they need to do it.
Yeah, that it's unknown.
That's unknown, right?
Yeah.
And they want to find the right answer.
Right.
So you wouldn't, if you sat down with an agent, you're recruiting with them, and you said, So if you're, you're standing on the lot line or what you think is the lot line, and the buyer says, "Hey, is this definitely the lot line so I can pick up a fence?" Are you the kind of person that says, "Absolutely, yes, I can put the fence right here"? Or are you the kind of person that says, "I'm going to have to check. I'm going to have to be for sure," even if you think it's your house it's next door to this listing.
Right.
You think you know exactly where it's at.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place when you just have to look for help to get that right answer.
Yeah.
You want them to be that kind of person that wants to look for that help. Part of the reason why is it keeps everybody's ass out of a sling, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. The other part of the reason why is it allows them to become part of your community and your culture. That's how they're going to learn to be a part of that. That's how they're going to learn to be supportive in that, and that's how they're going to learn to be supported inside that community. If it's not somebody that looks at doing that, then you're going to hire someone that's going to be completely absent from it, and they're going to be the ones that you get their form and email one day and says, "Hey, I'm going somewhere else."
Yeah.
You follow me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the other thing is, are they a sharing person, right?
Yep.
And so sharing means, are they involved with the community, right? It means, are they involved with charities? But it also means, do they share credit on things?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and inside the office.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Do they share recognition when it's time to share recognition? Now, I'm not talking about a pushover.
Right. Yeah,
Okay. I'm not talking about a victim that's just like, hey, everybody else did everything and I did nothing, and then just go back to being mad that, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about truly sharing credit when it's due to share credit.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be all of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't know, a lot of times you don't know exactly what happened. You don't know what the dynamics of it are, but they have to be comfortable with saying, so-and-so really stepped up on this.
Yeah, I couldn't have done this without the help from
Absolutely.
Betty Sue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And probably the last thing that we'll talk about in this podcast, of course, there's a bunch of other things, but the last thing we'll probably touch on, just for the sake of time, is they have to understand that this is a business.
Yeah.
They cannot just look at it like it's a job. Okay. This is so critical.
Absolutely.
I'm going to, I don't want to do this full time. I'm only, when somebody comes to me and says they want to buy a house, I'm going to do this. Absolutely. You can make money and you can hire people like that. If that's your
jam.
MO. That's right. Absolutely. Go do it. Go get them, Tiger. But if you want people that are productive for the long run, that are contributing, that are truly connected with what's going on, that are going to reduce the liability, they're going to get trained the way that they're supposed to, they're people that have to look at it like it's a business.
Yeah.
That's how they have to look at it.
Yeah. So, we use Billy Bob and Betty Sue.
Yeah, all the time.
Right, all the time. Right. So, I'm just gonna pick a random name. We'll say like Heath.
Okay.
Let's say you really feel like Heath is winner.
Right.
Right. You've heard, he's had a lot of paydays.
Right.
Down on Fifth Avenue.
$1 million. What is it? $100,000. $100,000.
Yeah, around $100,000. He comes in.
He's leaving M&M Real Estate.
Yeah, he's leaving M&M Real Estate. He just had enough with his broker Kit Kat. Do you treat him different? Right? How does that affect Heath? You're like, nah, like you stick to my teeth. How does that affect how you treat these people? If we're talking about possible winners, expectations, losers, all of it combined.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this podcast is powered by Prospect Boomerang.
We all know broker owners struggle with profitability. Prospect Boomerang compounds your profits by recruiting the best agents to your brokerage.
For consistent growth, visit prospectboomerang.com.
Yeah. The answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely treat them different. So first of all, you have to ask questions to kind of verify who they are.
Yeah.
You gotta ask these questions to see if they really are somebody that understands business. Are they really somebody that shares? Are they really somebody that does all of these different things? Are they good learners and everything? So you have to ask them those questions and verify who they are. So yeah, you're going to treat them as you start to get these answers a little bit different than you treat the next person. Yeah. Right. Because if it's clear, you're gonna understand how to talk to them, how to move forward with the transition to your company and all that kind of stuff, because they've been completely open with you. You figured out who they are and you verified them, so it's time to move forward. Right. Yeah. But the other answer is no. Does it impact how you treat them? No. Everyone should have expectations. Yeah. Everyone should have expectations on them. Now, where you set those expectations are between you and them. Right? But you have to set those expectations so that everyone knows how much they're, do you have minimum standards in your office? Right? Do you not have minimum standards, but you expect a certain amount of people in their database, right?
Right. Yeah.
How often are you connecting with people? All of it. So it's not going to be the same for everyone, but yes, you're going to have expectations that are different based on the different people. So you treat them the same,
have
but
categories and characteristics. It's not like, because you have to treat like every individual as an individual, right. So that's just gonna from the get,
right.
Say that you're going to treat them different,
right.
From that standpoint, but it's having predetermined expectations that no matter like who comes in, gosh, if they fit this from a business standpoint,
right.
This is how I'm going to go with that interview in that direction.
Right. Is it going to be do year over year you expect them to have a higher per person productivity year over year?
Exactly.
Right. I mean, doesn't matter what the number is, or is there minimum performance standards? You don't work here unless you hit that level, right?
Yeah.
You can't work here unless you're making X amount of commission dollars. You can't work here unless you do commercial. You can't work here unless whatever, right?
Yeah.
So some things are going to be the same and some of them are going to be different. A big part of it is on you and how you want to run your brokerage.
Yes.
But the other piece of it that cannot be overlooked is exactly what you just said. They are an individual.
Yep.
Okay? You have to set expectations for them based on your vision, what you want to accomplish, your goals, all that kind of stuff. You have to set expectations so that they're allowed to grow into those because they feel better about themselves. Let's go back to those fourth graders, okay? I don't remember if it was fourth or fifth. Okay. But let's go back to those fourth graders. At the end of the year, the kids that had been, pinpointed as the ones that were these exceptional learners, how do you think they felt about that? How do you think they felt about their learning? Probably on top of the world, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How come they got to feel better about what they accomplished? Was it because of what they did, or was it because of the expectation that was set that they then lived up to? Where did it start? Started with the expectation. Oh,
absolutely. We rise. You either rise to the expectations or, fall. I guess would be the opposite. Yeah. So, Matt.
Yep.
We're going to talk about an action item.
Yep.
I'm going to put a bow on this really quick, unless there's something else that you want to add.
Nope.
And then we'll get to that action item. So, guys, if you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, that bell right beside it, get notified every time we drop a new episode. Please go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. If you're curious how to spell it, look down at your phone or your tablet or whatever device you're looking at. It is right there, brokerpreneurpodcast.com. It's also a link in the description underneath this podcast. And sign up for our weekly recruiting newsletter. We have so much information in that. We also have an event coming up, the Recruiting Master Series, where we're talking about commission splits versus commission I'll get in a second. Commission splits versus compensation plans and how to discuss those in your interview. If you go to prospectboomerang.com, right at the bottom of that page, you can sign up. Super easy for that as well.
Yep.
So, Matt.
Yes, Ben.
I'm not going to close it out like I did last time because I forgot the action item was covered. I'm going to hold off. I'm itching. I'm itching to say it.
Right.
But tell us what we need to do.
So for a great idea to help you make sure that you're getting the right people into your office is completely forget about the people in your office, completely forget about, the people that all that kind of stuff. Remove yourself from all of that. And then think about someone that you truly admire. Think about someone that you look up to for whatever reason it is. Okay. It can be whatever, Ben. It can be Heath. It can be the Pope if you want it to be the Pope. It can be Jay-Z if you want it to be Jay-Z, right? I don't care who it is. And then pick 3 traits that define that person. Okay? If you can't figure out what those traits are, you probably shouldn't be admiring them.
Yeah.
But you should be able to pick 3 traits that are traits that you truly admire in that person. Once you pick those out, would you ask yourself, if everyone in my office had those 3 traits, would I enjoy working in my office better? Would it make it easier for me to go to that next level with what I'm trying to accomplish with my business? If the answer is yes, then what you want to do is you want to start looking for those 3 traits in the people that you're hiring. You want to try to look at your conversations that you're having with people and work in a way to vet out those 3 traits.
Yeah.
If it's a driven person, if it's somebody with a lot of vision, if it's a trustworthy person, it's a person with a lot of integrity, how would you vet that out in through the transition that they're making, potential transition that they're making? If integrity is a big one of those, talk about escrow. Talk about multiple offer transaction where you're on both sides and somebody else is bringing in the offer and on another offer because it's multiple offers. Take a look at all of that and figure out a way to have that conversation inside your recruiting appointment. What's going to happen is you're mentally setting expectations at that point.
Yeah.
And when you're setting those expectations and you hire those people, you will feel better about the people that you're hiring. You will feel comfortable setting different expectations because they have those characteristics. They have those traits that you admire. You're going to see those in them on a regular basis, and you're going to perform better because you're going to hold them to the expectation because you admire them, you think more of them.
Yeah. That's a great action item.
Well, thanks.
In life. And you do that with your friends.
Absolutely.
Okay. I do look up to you, Matt.
I'll look up to you too, Ben.
No, you look down at me physically. I was going to say, I look up to you in 2 ways, Matt. Literally.
And figuratively.
So, Matt.
Yes, Ben.
We have, we do these podcasts.
Yep.
It's common knowledge that we know a lot about candy, and we showed it off in this.
Right. We taunted it a little bit.
Just
flirted
a little bit.
Flirted it a little bit there.
Right. But really, we come here and we do these podcasts for one reason and one reason alone. Tell them why that is.
Because we just want to be part of their win.